What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show back with another video. Now today I just watched the amazing Black Clover movie. You know, regardless of what you want to say about it, it was beautifully animated. The fights are pretty cool. It's just a pretty good movie, and it really got me thinking, where's the next Black Clover game? They tried to make a Black Clover game in the past, but it just did not work out. That Black Clover game, which you're probably seeing gameplay of in the background right now, it was named Black Clover Quartet Knights. It was basically a team-based shooter, which is kind of weird. I mean, obviously, it's not that weird because, I mean, the main character is Asta. He doesn't really shoot. He shoots like waves of soul energy or whatever, but everybody else is basically spellcaster. So, obviously, you need to make a game that's based off of like casting a lot of magic. And, you know, in Quartet Knights, you can join with 3 other players and do like online matches and stuff. The game in itself is not a bad game. It's not even a bad game. It's a pretty mediocre game, but you can get a lot of fun out of it. I think I picked it up for like $5 at one point. It has a story of like Yami when he was younger and stuff, and it's a cool experience, you know, if you like Black Clover. I think it's the first game, so obviously it's not going to be the best. It had like a lot of the capture the flag and base control, team deathmatch type of thing. It was like a Shinobi Strikers in a way, but not as vast. Now, that game, like I said, wasn't bad. But I think it's time to switch up the formula a bit. Like a lot, actually, to be honest. I think we really need to go a little bit deeper into like the Black Clover world, because the thing is, me personally, I like Black Clover. I love Black Clover. I think it's one of my favorite shonens, and I would take it over a lot of different new gen shonen anime. And that's where I kind of look at that as an opportunity, because the new movie's out. You know, it's pretty well received at this point. I've been reading the manga. The manga is absolute heat right now, and it's about to be done. So I think there's time to squeeze out another Black Clover game before it's all said and done. Because I think when it comes to like anime and projects like that, they do a lot of promotion for an anime or a manga. And since the manga for Black Clover is in its final stage, it kind of makes sense that they won't be doing any more video games after the manga is done. So I would really love for a game to come out. Now, obviously, Storm is like one of the well-known game formats. A lot of people want games to copy Storm. If you play Demon Slayer, they have a Storm-like game. Not necessarily Storm, but it's basically made by the same people. Has the same heart to it. Then there's games like Kakarot. I think more games should follow the lead of Kakarot. I feel like Kakarot in general is a good game, but I didn't finish it simply because it's Dragon Ball Z. I've played Dragon Ball Z 1,000 times. I would actually be cool with going back and like playing some of Black Clover's greatest fights and greatest histories and stuff, if that meant I can do it in a really nice, cool game format. You know, that'd be nice to kind of go back and go through Asta's journey. You can go play as like Asta and Yuno. I really petition for a lot of games to end up coming out like that. But obviously, I mean, Kakarot is a one of its kind as we speak, so we'll see whether more games will get that treatment. But I just really want something new entirely. I see what they try to do with like the first person shooter Black Clover. I'm not really a fan of it. I'm not saying it's not for everybody, but for me specifically, was not a great fan of it. I think it was an okay game. I think it's time to move on. I think it's time to try something new. I know that they're doing a phone game, which could be pretty interesting, but I would love to see like a creator character, because when you have a system like that, any system, any game where you have like a lot of different abilities and stuff, a lot of different magic types as they do in Black Clover, it's easy to make a creative character game, you know, with different types of magic. I mean, the world is open. It's not as open as One Piece, obviously, but it's like, it's pretty open. You really know about the kingdoms and stuff, and it's really localized to that specific role. But obviously, if you read the manga, you know it opens up a lot more than that. So without spoiling, I won't really get into that. Especially with like games like this, you can have the character join one of like the guilds and, you know, be a participant in one of them. Now obviously you probably won't end up being like a Black Bull, you know, like if they make the story. And here's another reason why I say this game needs to be made now. So I was looking at the movie and it dawned on me. They said something about like it was 27 Wizard Kings before. So there's been a lot of Wizard Kings through time, and there's a lot of story left to be told. In the movie, I won't spoil it, but you basically face like 4 different Wizard Kings from different times. And they were basically, some of them were kind of like kicked out from being the Wizard King. You know, I guess they didn't specifically do the right things during their time. Because you being a Wizard King doesn't mean that you're automatically an amazing, good-hearted person. It literally just means you're like the strongest magic knight. That's really what it means. And the fact that they said it's like 27, I've never heard a number 7. I don't know if it's like 17 or what, but I know it's a lot of them. The fact that we know like the first one is Lumiere, he's the first Wizard King. He basically was the first entire Wizard King. Basically a lot of the noble bloodline come from him. And other than that, we virtually know nothing about these other Wizard Kings besides the ones we've seen in the thing. I think Naruto, I think a lot of shows heavily rely on like past leaders and stuff that, you know, that there's an air of mystery there, because we don't know, like different Wizard Kings could be different, mean different stuff. Like who was the strongest of all the Wizard Kings? But what I mean is that specifically they didn't want to do the Black Clover story, or like they did with the young Yami stuff. They could actually introduce a side story that could still technically be canon to the Black Clover universe, and it could take place like fighting with one of the Wizard Kings, even going back in time and like a different kingdom and seeing the Wizard Kings. Because in the movie they stated basically, if you think about it, none of the Wizard Kings really ever accomplished making a just kingdom. Like the kingdom where like royals are above everybody else, that still stands even in Julius's time. So it's like none of the Wizard Kings really ever changed the world like Asta's trying to do. So it would be interesting to see like their failures, or whether they felt like they was royal so they didn't care, you know, they wanted to be like that. It would be interesting to kind of go back and see what their motivations is, and a lot of different characters, you know, new designs and stuff. Because when they showed the movie, they flashed by him real quick, and it was a lot of, I don't know if that's like the present design of all of them, and they're just not, they're like kind of grayed out and show like a lot of designs. But that'd be cool to go back and see all of them, because 27 leaders, that's a long time for a nation to be established. Even if they did something before the age of Lumiere where there was no Wizard King, there's so much untapped story they could do there. Just when you have a system like that and you put a person at the top, everybody wants to see what the person at the top started from. Similar to how like in Jujutsu Kaisen, they had that sequel like side story about like how Gojo got so powerful. Not gonna spoil it here, but it's an amazing little read. But with that being said, guys, how do you feel about Black Clover as a whole? Like, do you like the anime? Did you like the movie? You might have been watching the movie, you might have came to this video. I really do like both. I think the show is really, really good. I can't wait for it to come back. I'm currently not finished I'm not caught up to what the manga is right now, but I know all the big twists and stuff. So I think at this point, it'd definitely be loving to get some media out there, like a video game or something. Let me know how you feel about that down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next video.